McRae here. Welcome to episode 82 of McRae Live. The date today is Thursday, July 23rd, 2020, 11:07 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm coming to you live from the VoiceMann Studios in Toronto, Canada. Today, I want to just touch on, of course, I know what you might be thinking. It's me, Billy, again. Hey, we're right in the middle of a crowdfunding campaign, folks. And I want to give you guys an update on that, of course. Last night, Bruce and I had our second table read. That went really well. I want to talk a bit about that. And talk about the campaign, how the campaign's going. And because it's funny, you know, I actually do still get some messages from people asking, hey, is the campaign live? And I'm like, is the campaign live? Not everybody is as, you know, attached to social media like a lot of people are. And I'm like, yeah, it's been live for like almost 3 weeks. And like, oh my God, where is it? I'm like, here's the link. So I just thought it'd be fun to kind of give an update on that. Just quickly go over the campaign, what's there, talk about obviously the, you know, the table read last night, which we had. It was our second table read. It was great. It was a lot of fun. And it's the great thing about these table reads, and if you are the kind of filmmakers that Bruce and I are, we want to hear what the actors have to say about this, right? I mean, obviously we are the writers, directors, and the producers. We get the final say. But it's always good to hear what the actors have to say. Do they feel comfortable? Is there something that's there that they're thinking, you know, maybe this, you know, maybe I might, you know. We like hearing that kind of stuff. And as long as it doesn't change the fundamental foundation of the whole movie, you know, then that's great. So it was really great to hear everybody's feedback, and there was a lot of it. There was some, most of it all positive, like, this is great, I love this is tight, this, and then there was some feedback that was like, you know, have you thought about doing this? Maybe my character might, you know, and that's great stuff to hear. So we really appreciate that. So if you're watching, ladies, thank you so much again. I mean, just getting that feedback, because as I stressed a couple of times during the table read, and as any filmmaker knows, making a movie is a collaborative effort. It's a team effort. And you want everybody to be on the same page and everybody to be working together. I mean, yes, I mean, there are, you know, hierarchies on the table when you're on set. Obviously, there's a director that, you know, that calls the shots. But if you have a good relationship with that director, if you feel you can come to that director if you have a problem or an issue or a suggestion, that's a really good thing. That's a really good thing. And it's something that Bruce and I really want to establish on our set, because it's we want everybody to feel good, you know. And sometimes, I mean, you know, actors are creative people, right? And sometimes they have a suggestion where you're like, you know, that's actually pretty good, you know. And you know what? Yes, say it like that. Yeah. You're right. So a good idea is a good idea. Now, again, at the end of the day, you know, if it's not what we want, obviously, Bruce and I are not afraid to say, hey, you know, I appreciate you saying that, but we really want it to be kind of like this. Here's the reason why. Then, of course, that's fine, right? But I noticed that when we opened it up to everybody, people had a lot of suggestions and feedback, and it was just so great. It was such a lot of fun. But the general consensus is, and this is, you know, I asked them for their unbiased opinion, and they all said that I mean, really at the end of the day, it's a tight script, and they love it. And that's the most important thing, obviously, is when your actors can get excited about it and get excited about, you know, the adjustments that are being made. I mean, that's exciting for us too, as filmmakers. So, yeah, so for those of you that may not know, because there are still some people that don't know, and yes, I'm wearing a Price is Right t-shirt. I got this when I went to the Price is Right in 2015. I can tell that story, but you guys have probably already heard that story, I'm sure. Anyway, so yeah, so the Indiegogo campaign is live. Let's see how we're doing. Let's move over and see how we are doing. I think it's this one here. There we are. For some reason, I'm not in there. Where am I? Why am I not there? I don't know, but who cares? As long as you can see it and hear me. That's the most important thing. So yes, this is the Indiegogo campaign. We are live, and this is what you're seeing. You're seeing this in Canadian dollars, folks. Canadian dollars. We have, what do we have 42. I think that'll drop to 41 days left this afternoon. We're sitting at $34,284 Canadian, 349 backers, 57% of our production budget. If you are living in the United States, you will see that a bit differently. You will see US dollars. You'll see, probably 25,000 and something. 25 and a half, maybe something like that. And we're good. Like, we're happy with this. Now, there were a lot of people that have, no, not a lot of people. There were a couple of people that reached out to me. I say a lot of people because 99% of the time it is a lot of people. But there were a couple of people that reached out to me and said, Dave, your first week and a bit or your first 2 weeks was great and things have really slowed down. Oh no, what's going to happen? No. And, I said to them, I reminded them, I said, well, let's not forget that, of course, that this was bound to happen. Let me see if I can get myself here. Hang on a second. I want to get my, let me just see if I can copy this, move this over here. For some reason, I'm not there. There I am. And there I am. Let me move me over here. So, because most of the juicy stuff will be on the other side. So I reminded them, I said, well, yes, but that's bound to happen because, that pace was not sustainable. And you heard me say that. For the first week, we were essentially gaining about, 7 to 10% a day. I mean, that's just not sustainable. It has slowed down considerably. We've been at about 56, 57% really for the last week. And, obviously we want that to go up and we need you guys, to help us out with that. But this is not unprecedented. The good news is, and you probably remember me saying this too, is that we had such a strong start so that it can afford us this week, 2 weeks, where there's kind of a lull, which happens in every campaign anyway. It doesn't really matter. But it affords us this opportunity where things are sort of at a lull. Because there are campaigns that sort of start really slow out of the gate, and then the entire campaign is stressful, and they're just playing catch up the entire campaign, and they never really gain any ground or traction. With us, we were very fortunate that we have, we had a stellar opening weekend, so to speak, right? Where now it's like, holy crap. I mean, most people don't gain half of their budget in the first week. I mean, that doesn't usually happen, especially when your budget's nearly $60,000 Canadian or 45,000 US. So that was really good. And it has afforded us this time to sort of be a little kind of slow, which was bound to happen. But I wanted to do this because I wanted to talk about the campaign and talk about the table read last night and give an update, of course. So let's see here. So yeah, there's still a lot left with the campaign. Obviously, you're seeing these in Canadian dollars. Like I've said many times, you're seeing these in Canadian dollars. They will look a bit less to you in American dollars. I might be able to ballpark it for you. Just looking at here, $7 Canadian is about $5 US. So for just $5, you can get your name in the end credits. Just $5. That's it. So if that interests you, you can go to the Indiegogo link. The link is in the description. You can go there and get your name in the end credits under a special thanks. This is something that's pretty cool. And I'm actually surprised, although 38 people have claimed it, I'm surprised more people haven't claimed it because we are moving to, although I guess when it comes to the physical media, like the Blu-rays, I guess maybe for some people it's just cool to have a Blu-ray, which is ironic because we're moving to a digital sort of thing now. I mean, physical media is not something that you see. It's on its way out. It's dying. It's been dying for a number of years, right? Everybody's going digital. So I'm actually surprised this hasn't been claimed more, considering what you get with it. You get the digital, the movie in full HD, you get a digital copy of the script, and you get a digital high-resolution copy of the poster for only $15 Canadian. What is that, like $11 US or something? $10 US? I mean, that's really cheap. So I was actually kind of surprised that hasn't gone more. I mean, 38 people is 38 people, but it actually kind of surprised me. More people are picking up the Blu-rays. Now, maybe it's for the special features, because obviously on the Blu-rays, you do get special features. Now, when you're looking at the perks, don't forget to click on this to see what else you get with it, right? Because you don't just get that perk, you get other things with it as well. So don't forget to do that, right? Because, for example, so for $15 Canadian, which is what, about 11 bucks US, give or take a couple of cents, you get the digital download, so you get all this, and you also get a special thanks in the special thanks section. So that's pretty cool too. And then, of course, when you move to the Blu-rays, of course, we have the regular cover for the Blu-ray, 30 bucks Canadian. 64 people have claimed that. When you click on that, you not only get the Blu-ray with everything that would come on the Blu-ray, which is totally awesome, but you also get a special thanks in the special thanks section of the credits. You get the digital download package. Maybe that's why they're going with the Blu-ray. Maybe that's why, because they think to themselves, well, you know, for 20 bucks more, I can get the Blu-ray and the digital download package. So that could be why they're also going with the Blu-ray as well. But I'm still kind of surprised by that because it's physical media, and I thought, some people, they don't like, they're getting rid of all their physical media. But I'm personally a physical media guy. So for me, this is, I would totally be buying this because I'm a physical media guy. But you do get the digital download package. So maybe that's like, well, you know what the hell, I get it anyway, right? So that could be a reason there. But that's pretty cool. And then, of course, the retro cover. Here's the retro cover for just a couple of bucks more. And same thing, the special thanks, the digital download package, and so on. And then, of course, your t-shirts by sizes. These are pretty cool. It will be a standard t-shirt, black. Obviously, we want to make it black because it's Black Christmas, and you know, it's dark and ominous and creepy and eerie. So we wanted to do that and make it all black and creepy and eerie. But they are by sizes, of course. So if you're a bigger person, obviously we do have extra large and extra large. And one person has already claimed the extra large, and 2 people have claimed the extra large. So 3 with the large and 6 with the medium. That would be me if I was buying a shirt. And 1 person with the small. I think that might have been a woman, actually, if memory serves. It might have been a woman, and that makes sense, obviously. So pretty cool stuff. And then, of course, the toque. I'm surprised these haven't gone. I really am. Now, maybe it's because I advertise it as toque, and maybe some people are like, what the fuck is a toque? Especially if you live in the United States. You know, it's a winter hat. It's what we call winter hats here in Canada. It's just a nickname. And we call them beanies too. We call them winter hats. It's not like it's, you know, that we don't call them that. Obviously, it's, where's my winter hat? Where's my beanie, right? But you will hear the word toque a lot up here. It's a nickname that's given to a winter hat. So that's what that is, folks. It's a winter hat without the pom-pom on top. It's just a winter hat, beanie-ish. Not quite a beanie, but beanie-ish. And I'm surprised more of those haven't gone, to be honest with you. Because it's, I think I'm going to get one because that's really cool to have like your hat with like, you know, the It's Me Billy right there. I think that's pretty awesome. And you get the special thanks and the digital download package as well. So for all that, you get the thanks and the digital. So the movie in full HD, the poster, the script, and the hat, which I think is pretty darn cool. And then the signed posters are gone, which is amazing. Well, we'll get to the gone stuff shortly. So cool stuff indeed. Yes, thank you, Michael Stapp. Yes, folks, remember that you're seeing these in Canadian dollars. So it is going to look less to you. And I say that because most of my viewers, above 80% of my viewers are American. It's true. Only about 4% of my viewers are Canadian. It sounds weird because I'm based in Toronto, but Canadians don't give a shit about me. So, so keep that in mind. You will be seeing prices if you live in the US that are a bit less, and sometimes significantly less. So, depending how high we go, right? So, 3 claimed. Official poster, 24 by 36. Like, that's an official one-sheet size. Somebody asked me the other day if the posters come in come framed. And the answer to that is no. And the reason for that is because we would have to charge you a lot more for that. I mean, framing a poster and then shipping that framed poster, I mean, it would be probably double, if not triple the cost, you know, and we'd have to charge you more for shipping, and it just, you know, to frame them would be too expensive. So you will get the poster. It'll be rolled up. and in a poster tube and shipped to you, and then you can do whatever you want with it. You can just pin it up if you want, or you can go to Michael's or Walmart or wherever and buy just a nice frame and frame it. It'd be cheaper for you. It's probably cheaper for everybody all around. And then, of course, the retro poster. I'm a little surprised more of these haven't gone. Because of how well the retro Blu-ray is selling. But nonetheless, there's still 10 left. The official poster, there's not a limit, but on the retro poster here, 24 by 36, again, full one sheet. There's still, there's 8 left. 2 have been claimed, excuse me. There were 10 that were available, excuse me. And then, of course, if you click on it again, it gives you a little bit about it, and you get a special thanks in the special thanks section as well. And then, of course, this is kind of funny. Now, I put these on here that it looks really self-indulgent. It does. It totally does. I thought that before I put them on. And I'm actually surprised that more people haven't picked it up. Maybe it's the cost. Maybe they didn't expect it to, but I looked at sort of where others were in the realm, and what I felt was fair and what you're getting with it. The special thanks, digital download package as well. Let's see, we got 1 went here and 1 went on this one as well. So that's 2 that have gone, but I've had about 7 or 8 people reach out to me and say, because they've seen, where is it here? They've seen, let me go through the hoodies here. They saw this one here, and you can get a signed promo photo, 8x10 of the 3 ladies. And about, honest to goodness, I'm not making this up, about 7 or 8 people have reached out to me and been like, is there any way we can get your autograph? And I'm like, mine? Why do you want mine? What the fuck do you want mine for? I'm not in the movie. Like, yeah, we want you. It'd be cool. And I'm like, oh, and like the first couple of people, I was like, no, it's just them, right? It's just ladies. But after like the 6th person, and I'm not making this up, after like the 6th person, I'm like, well, I guess I'll put it on as a perk. So maybe they haven't seen it. So if you're not aware that it's there, it is there now. You can get 2 versions of sounds so self-indulgent, of my autograph. 8x10, you get this one here, which is just a special, which is just a thanks. Like I'll just say, I'll say to Bob, thanks so much, Dave McRae, whatever, right? So it'll be personalized in the sense that it will be to you. But I won't write anything on it that's personalized, because I just want to avoid 99% of people will probably be clean and nice and fine, but then you'll get the odd idiot that'll want, which I wouldn't do obviously, but that would, request something dumb and vulgar and racist and stuff. And I just, I just want to avoid that. And then of course there's the mood and atmosphere autograph as well. And that's I'll write mood and atmosphere on it. And then, to Bob, mood and atmosphere, maybe a little something else, who knows, and then, Dave McRae or whatever. And somebody claimed it. And I was like, all right, well, there you have it, folks. So they're there. If the other 7 people, maybe those 2 people are 2 of the 8 that reached out to me. So if the other 6 people, they're there. If you want them, it's just funny. It's just funny to me because I'm not that kind of a person. But anyway, so, and then of course the hoodies, these are again, standard black. The hoodies are there, Christmas warmth, we call them, and, categorized by size too, of course, right? So you have small, medium, large, extra large, claimed, and one person claimed an extra large. I'm telling you, it's good that I put those sizes up there because I wasn't going to. Like at first I was going to go, well, small, medium, large, kind of your standard kind of. But then I thought, no, I should add an extra large and maybe even an extra large. And then I was even thinking about adding an extra large. Then I thought, well, where do I stop? You know what I mean? And then of course it all depends on whether they make them, right? So yes, and then we get, of course, to the promo of the 3 ladies, and 2 people have already claimed that. So that's pretty cool. So they will be excited to sign those for you. And then 2 posters, 2 out of 5 people have already, 2 people out of 5 have already claimed this. This is the 2 poster official retro 2 poster pack. And you get the 2 posters in there as well as the special thanks and the digital download package. So again, for those of you that are going to the perks, it's important that when you're picking a perk or maybe trying to find a perk that you want, to click on the perk as well to see what else you get with it. Because sometimes, and it varies, right? It varies depending on which perk, there is. But sometimes you get, not just the toque, you get, oh, I get the digital download package and that. Oh, that's really cool. Like that's cool too. And sometimes it might make it more worth it for you. we'll see. Concept art. So there's 20 available here. This hasn't been claimed yet, but concept art is really cool. So Bruce, for those of you that don't know, Bruce is a professional. He's a classically trained visual artist, and he's done many storyboards in his life, and he knows how to do it. So he's going to be doing up most of the storyboards for us. We're not going to storyboard the entire film, but there are certain scenes that we will probably storyboard just to give us a better visualization of what we want to do, keep us on track, keep us, in the right zone. And he's also drawing up some concept art as well. The concept art you see there on the image is the concept art, the storyboard / concept art that he drew up for the teaser trailer. That's what he drew up for that. So we sort of had an idea of the shots that we were going to do and which way the camera was going to be moving and the sequence of events. But he's doing up storyboards right now. Concept art right now, which you will get with this as well. And you'll get, a bunch of sheets and you also get the special thanks, the digital download package as well. So that's pretty cool. 3 dudes. One person has already claimed this. This is Be Our Guest. Now, this is not, again, like any Indiegogo campaign, the higher you go up on the perks, the more expensive they become. That's just standard. I mean, that's natural, right? So this was a cool perk that Tony and I agreed to. He was like, yeah, let's do it. We didn't know if anybody was going to pick it, but somebody did, and which is pretty cool. So this is your opportunity. Again, that's $750 Canadian, folks. That's about what, 450, 500 something US, something like that. So it's not cheap, but it's not crazy. I mean, but a lot of fun, because what we will do is we will have you on as the third dude or dudette. Hey, if there's any dudettes out there that want to, take that perk as well. I mean, it's not like, it'll be 2 dudes and a dudette for the night. You know what I'm saying? So we'd be really happy with that too. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But most of my viewers, like above 85% are men. So I think the probability is quite high that whoever picks it will probably be another dude. But nonetheless, it is not closed off to dudettes, of course. And so what this is that you essentially, if you were to pick this perk, you also get a special thanks, the digital download package, and Blu-ray as well, along with this. And this is Join Dave McRae and Tony Michael on their live horror movie podcast, Two Dudes and Some Bullshit, on my channel, Monday nights at 7. You get to choose the horror movie that we watch. And although we would prefer it's something that we haven't already watched. Maybe it's something that you've wanted us to watch. You're like, God, are they ever going to fucking watch that movie? And I'm telling you, we get a lot of messages from a lot of people saying, when are you going to watch this? When are you going to watch that? When are you going to watch this? And it's not that Tony and I don't necessarily want to watch what you're suggesting. It's that we have a schedule. Like Tony and I already know what we're going to be watching up until the middle of September, right? Like we have a schedule that's laid out, and he usually takes care of that. And then he will consult with me and be like, hey, dude, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And if I ever have any suggestions, I'll say, how about this instead? And he'd be like, yeah, let's do it. Really good collaborative kind of thing. But he's sort of handling a lot of the scheduling, which is awesome. And the movies. So we really know kind of, usually we have already our 4 to 6 weeks kind of laid out. And that doesn't mean things can't change, of course, but we would prefer if it's something we didn't watch before, but maybe it's something that you have always wanted us to watch, and you can join us on the show. You will be on there. You'll see me, you'll see Tony, and then there you are, and you'll be watching along with us, and you get to answer questions from the chat room, and we just, now it's 3 dudes hanging out watching a movie, right? So that's something I wanted to introduce because I thought that would have been fun for people. And then, of course, here is Be My Guest. Be my guest on McRae Live. You can come here on this channel and be my guest on McRae Live. That's $1,000 Canadian. That's about, what, 700 something US. But you also get, there's a special thanks, the digital download package, a signed official poster, 24 by 36, retro cover Blu-ray, and a mood and atmosphere autograph from me as well. That's also included in the package as well. And I've had a lot of people reach out to me who've said, I'd love to do that, but I'm too nervous to come on. There's some people that have said that to me. There's some people that have said, oh, I'm saving up to get it. Whether they do or not, I don't know. But you would be my guest right here on this show. And I would interview you like you've seen me interview Sandy Johnson or, Vince DeSanti or Cecil or Tony or whoever I've had on the show. It would be that kind of thing, right? Bruce, I would put you on. It would be a split screen, and there we are talking movies and Halloween and whatever you want to talk about. And I put the pumpkin there on the image because I think most people would probably want to shoot the shit with Halloween with me, right? Well, here's your opportunity to do it live, voice to voice, face to face, and well, no, not necessarily face to face, but kind of. And you can be my guest for the full hour and a half, 2 hours that we're on, and we can chat Halloween and take questions from the audience, and I think that'd be a lot of fun. That'd be a lot of fun. Let me see here. Filmmaking 101. Now, this is an interesting perk that is yet to be claimed, but there's been a few people that have been interested in it. It's basically the primary reason why we actually put it up. And this is something that if you're somebody that wants sort of a crash course in the fundamentals of filmmaking, this might interest you. Bruce is going to spearhead this. I will be there as well, offering my insight and thoughts, but I'm letting Bruce spearhead this because it's what he does. Again, for those of you that may not know, Bruce works in the film industry here in Toronto. He's the National Manager of Education and Training at William F. White International in Toronto. And William F. White International is Canada's largest distributor of motion picture, television, lighting, and grip gear. So when Hollywood comes to Canada, there are competitors, of course, but when Hollywood comes to Canada and to Toronto, they very often rent from Whites. And, It Chapter 1 and 2, It Chapters 1 and 2 rented from Whites, and Shape of Water and RoboCop and Star Trek Discovery and you name it. I mean, they've supplied gear for major Hollywood productions that shoot here in Canada, in Vancouver and in Toronto. And Bruce is the National Manager of Education and Training there. So this is what he does. This is what he does. And he's a great teacher and a great facilitator, and knows his stuff like it's going out of style. And there's been so many things that I've learned from him. I mean, there's a lot of things I know, having been to film school and being well-read and being connected to the industry in what I do. But certainly there are things that Bruce has been able to teach me over the years because he's boots on the ground every single day. And so he will be facilitating this. And this is what you get with this package. It's 2,500 Canadian, which is what, about 1,800 US, something like that. But this is what you get with it, okay? It is, you get three 2-hour instructional sessions that teach the essentials of filmmaking, from idea and writing development to filming techniques to post-production considerations that will take your filmmaking skills to the next level. And so that's 6 hours. It'll be done by Zoom or Skype. And it's 6 hours of nothing but filmmaking 101. And you're learning from myself and from Bruce. And, and like I said, Bruce does this every day. Not this specifically every day, but this is his area of expertise, is education and training in the film industry. So, at the professional level. So if this interests you, you might want to think about it because I think it might be worth it to some people. And obviously it is taught by filmmakers, Bruce Dale, CTDP. That's his accreditation to be able to do, obviously, to be able to do this kind of thing. And myself, the directors of It's Me, Billy. See below for full list of items. You also get a special thanks, the digital download package. You get signed official poster 24x36. You get a t-shirt. You get the retro cover Blu-ray. You get a McRae thank you autograph, and you get a special thanks credit on IMDb. You get a special thanks credit on IMDb. Now that's different. You also get a special thanks in the end credits as well. But all the people that get a special thanks in the end credits are not necessarily getting a special thanks on IMDb, right? Well, I mean, they're not. They would have to choose one that specifically says you get a special thanks in the end credits, which is totally awesome. I mean, that's amazing, right? But this one also says, well, you'll get that, but you'll also get a special thanks on IMDb as well. So if that interests you, if you're thinking about that and you want to learn the fundamentals of filmmaking, this might be of interest to you. It's not inexpensive, but you do get a lot with it. You get a lot for it. And I can tell you right now, Bruce is, I'm not just saying this. I mean, I know I've known the guy for 30 years, but he is a tremendous teacher. Tremendous teacher, and caring, calm, much more. I would say he's probably a better teacher than me, because he's not that I'm not good, but it's just what he does, right? So he's developed a rhythm and a flow, and he's very his social cohesion and the way he's just able to, teach this stuff is second to none. I've learned so much from him just by having conversations with him. And so I just want to say that he's, and I will be there too. It's not like it's just going to be you and him. I will be there too, of course, offering my thoughts and insights and complimenting what he's saying. And I'll be there as well. But he will be spearheading it. So think about it. If it interests you, think about it. If you're an aspiring filmmaker and you want to, maybe get this package and learn the fundamentals in 3 2-hour courses. I mean, this isn't just like 10 minutes or, 2, 15-minute YouTube videos. It's hands-on, one-on-one, or maybe it's how many are available? 10. It could be 10 on 1, I guess, or 10 on 2, I guess, because there's me in there as well. But think about it. Think about it. And then, of course, there is the total package. This is the executive producer package, and one person has already picked it up. This is 8,000 Canadian, which is about 5,500 US, something like that. Again, remember, folks, you are seeing this in Canadian prices. If you are in the US, it will be a bit lower. I think even overseas, it might be a bit lower as well. Nonetheless. So the executive producer package is the total package. That means you get everything. You get everything. Everything. Now, you don't get five of everything. You just get everything. One of everything is what, because some people are like, do I get is this guy? But say if you've purchased the Blu-ray already and then you purchase this, well, yeah, you'll obviously get 2 Blu-rays, right? But no, it's one of everything, which is what you get included. You will be able to get this package as well, but it's one of everything. So it's not like you get this, but because you get this package, you'll suddenly get, 3 signed. We'll do our best to try and space that out. So there's enough for everybody, but we'll assess that at the end. But you do get one of everything here. So all previous perks included, plus a 30-minute Zoom call with directors, IMDb credit as an executive producer. Now, this is something that's very important. There is a perk on here, and we had this on here, where our intention was to have a walk-on role in the movie. Now, the flight and hotel would not be, we wouldn't take care of that. You would have to take care of that. But your travel to and from the set, food, everything going on in the set would be taken care of. It would all be taken care of, and you would have a small cameo role in the movie. Unfortunately, although nothing is certain, it doesn't look like we'll be able to offer that. And that's not because we don't want to offer that. It's because of COVID-19. And unfortunately, COVID-19, we don't know when the borders are going to open up. We don't know what the state of the world will be in a few months from now. It's Me, Billy will likely be a closed set. And what that means is that nobody beyond cast and crew is allowed on the set. It's only vetted people that are allowed on set. So, in a normal world, in a normal situation, it may not be a closed set. And if, one of the actors wanted to bring their boyfriends down to hang out, they could do that, and what, unfortunately, because of, what's happened, that's not likely to happen. It'll be a closed set. So that means that anybody coming from the United States, of course, which is where the vast majority of my viewers are, it doesn't look like it's something we'll be able to offer. And then you would also have to be comfortable with going through all the procedures that we will likely have to have in place, being tested for COVID and you know, all these things. So it doesn't look like it's something we'll be able to offer. However, there's other options, and we may be able to get your photo in the movie. That's entirely possible. That's something that we are looking at right now, to get your photo in the movie. So there's a photo of you as like a little Easter egg, not drawing attention to it like you're, you know, but just maybe in the background, you know, over there on the shelf. Oh shit, there I am, you know, that kind of thing. That might be, you know, kind of cool. We're thinking about that. But you're definitely going to get a private Zoom tour, a private Zoom link, a private Zoom tour of the set of It's Me, Billy. So, and we're not talking about like a 5-minute tour. Like, we're talking about, you will be invited to the set virtually via a Zoom link, and you will get to speak to myself and Bruce and Greg and Victoria and Shelby and Malika and everybody that's on the set, and you'll get a tour of the location, and you may even be able to see us shooting a scene, you know, and you'll be there. It'll be you know, we'll probably have you on for at least an hour, maybe, you know, and we think that is a under the circumstances. Again, it's all because of the circumstances. It's not that we're switching having you in the movie for this because it's just what we want to do. It's the reality of the situation. It's legally, we may not be allowed to do it. And because there are certain protocols and procedures that we have to abide by now that have come down from the Labor Board of Ontario as it relates to the film and television production industry in Ontario. We have to abide by this. So unfortunately, it's just not something that we will be able to do. Now, if suddenly something miraculous happens and between now and the time we go to camera, the world is back to normal per se, well, then we'll cross that bridge when it comes. But certainly we feel that maybe getting a photo in the movie and a virtual tour, a Zoom tour of, or tour, I should say, as the Americans say. We say tour here in Canada, but I think it's more tour in the US. A Zoom tour of the set and talking to everybody and just hanging out for like an hour, you know, I think will be, I think under the circumstances is the next best thing that we can do. So that is definitely part of the package as well. So if you have deep pockets or you've been saving up, you know, and you're like, oh dude, I just want fucking everything. I just want everything. It might interest you. It might interest you. I mean, usually when you look at other fan films or films in this space, the executive producer packages don't necessarily sell out, but they do sell from time to time. So it's there, and there's still, let's see, 1 of 5 was claimed, so there's still 4 left. Gone, of course, was the initial run of the retro Blu-ray, but they're back, and they've been back for quite some time. Gone as well, sold out, is a copy of the director's script. That will be a copy, not the actual one, but a copy of our script, myself and Bruce, with our notes on it and things like that. Pretty cool stuff that sold out. There were 10 available there. There were also 10 available for an official signed poster. Of course, this is the official poster, signed, and 10 went like hotcakes, all sold out. Amazing. And then Billy's Calling. There were 3 phones available in a replica phone, not the phone, but a replica phone of the one that we'll be using in the movie, signed by cast and crew. And I think this was actually the first one to sell out, and they sold out. So yeah, I know there's a lot of people going, aren't you going to have more? And it's like, well, we got to be careful because, you know, select items are limited for reasons, and we don't want to necessarily start bringing everything back because then that devalues the specialness of it. That's something to think about as well. This has blown my mind. The fact that the associate producer package, we had 7 available and all 7 went. To my associate producers who are watching right now, you guys are amazing. I mean, I am, because when I look at other, and I did when I was looking at other Indiegogo campaigns in this space, trying to learn about, what others have done and what, what the format should be to set myself up for the best probability of success. I'm learning from others. I've learned from Vince, I've learned from Cecil. It's been a sort of a crash course, being a part of Dylan's New Nightmare and checking out all the other campaigns. It's been really sort of a really great learning experience. And so I modeled, I didn't want to copy, but I modeled the style after what I've seen to set myself up for the best probability of success as well. And I am stunned that the associate producer package is gone. It's 1,500 Canadian, about 1,100 US or so, give or take. And but it's gone. So amazing. All of you are phenomenal and incredible. So again, folks, check it out. Anything helps. And remember, I've said this before, but I really mean this. I really do. If you've already purchased a perk, or maybe you're just not interested in the perks, because there was one person that reached out to me and said that. There was one person that reached out to me and said, Dave, I would love to help with the campaign, but I'm not a, what did he say? I'm not a stuffs person. Like I don't like stuff, maybe he's a minimalist or something. I don't know, but he doesn't like stuff or, so he said, is there any way I can just donate? And I said, yes, absolutely. I'm not kidding. It's what he said. I was like, he's like, I'd like to, but I'm not really like, I could buy a Blu-ray and I could do this and I could do that, but I don't really want it. It's not personal to you. I just don't collect them. I don't want it. I don't want a t-shirt or a poster or a hoodie, or he's just not a stuff person. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So if you're on your desktop, which I am obviously here, and you're looking at the campaign like we have been here for the last little bit, this little button right here, if you click on that on your desktop, if you click on that, let me move myself over here and move this over. This is where you can donate. So you can donate $100, but or you can donate $1,000, I guess. I don't know how high it is, but I think the lowest you can donate, because when I click one, I don't think I can, no, one. So the lowest, I think, can you do two? Yeah, you can do $2, I think. The lowest, I think, I think you can do two. Can you do one? Oh, you might even be able to do one. Maybe you can do one. Maybe you can do one as well. I'm not sure, but you don't have to do like $20, $40, $50. You can do like $1. You can do $5, $2. And those donations are not associated with perks. So I mention this because I know there have been people that are like, well, I bought the Blu-ray, I bought the poster, I've bought this. I don't really want anything else, but I want to continue to help, because I got $10 here that I could throw towards the campaign, but I don't really want to buy the, You don't have to. You can do it this way. Now, if you're on your phone, just scroll to the end of all the perks and you'll see a little icon, a little pink icon with two shaking hands that says make a donation. And the same thing will pop up. So you can do that way as well. So you don't have to buy any of the perks. Oh, wait a minute. You don't have to. There we go. You don't have to buy any of the perks to make a donation. But we really appreciate anything that you can give. We are, obviously, it's not quite crunch time yet, but it would be great if we could get to 60% by this time next week. That's about $36,000 Canadian. We're at 34,284 right now. Who knows? Maybe we'll be there by the end of our It's Me Billy-a-thon this weekend, which brings me to the It's Me Billy-a-thon, which, of course, for those of you that may not know, that is happening this Saturday, July the 25th, 2020, starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and going till 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 5 hours. Myself and Bruce will be holding our first It's Me Billy-a-thon, and that will be Bruce will be, excuse me, I lost my train of thought there. Bruce will be in studio with me. And so he'll be here with me. We'll have a 2-camera setup. We'll have a 2-microphone setup. He'll be with me here in the VoiceMann Studios, and we will be taking nothing but your super chat questions. So on that stream, it's nothing but super chats. So if you want to ask me a question or ask Bruce a question or get a shout out or get your statement read or, whatever, it's got to be super chat. Now it can be a 99-cent super chat. There's no minimum, what a super chat's a super chat, and every little bit helps. And then everything raised via the super chats will go towards the Indiegogo campaign. And at the end of the stream, we will announce the total, whether that's, $500, whether that's $200, whether that's $150, whether it's $800. I have no idea how much we're going to raise, but we will announce the tally at the end. I will sort of pass off the stream to Bruce towards the end of the stream, and he'll take over and I'll add it all up to see how much we've got, minus YouTube's commission, because there is that as well. But we encourage you to also go to the campaign and buy the perks and make a donation as well. I mean, you can certainly do that too during the stream. And we might have a few surprises as well throughout the afternoon. Maybe a surprise guest or something, I don't know, that might pop on in relation to the movie. So that's all I'll say there. And it might be kind of fun. So yes, again, that's this Saturday, July the 25th, 2020, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 hours. Bruce and I are going to have like a whole case of water sitting here because we'll probably be chugging back all the water with all the talking that we'll be doing. So make sure you tune into that. You don't have to tune in for the whole fucking thing. I mean, geez, it's 5 hours. But we'll be on essentially from the end of the morning till late mid-afternoon. So if you can tune in and if you can help with the super chat or help with a donation, we really appreciate it. And, again, what Bruce and I are doing is for the first time in our lives, we are utilizing our connections and our resources working in the entertainment and, film industry here in Canada and making a real movie. So we want to deliver a production, even though it's a fan film, the production value that we hope to deliver for you guys is as pro as it comes. And of course that costs money, right? Do fan films cost $60,000 to make? Well, no. If you're shooting on a, DSLR and you're hiring your friends and you're shooting at your house, of course not. But if you want to make a movie, and you want to hire professionals, cast, crew, camera, lighting, grip, costs a lot of money. Locations cost a lot of money. And food and now insurance as well, because obviously we have to have production insurance as well. There's a company here in Toronto called, I think it's Front Row Productions, I think, and they are an insurance company that supplies insurance to the film industry, and we'll be probably going through them. But because of COVID-19 as well, insurance rates have gone up or are about to go up, no doubt. So even insurance will be a little more expensive. And then, of course, we have to buy all the necessities as it relates to COVID-19. Bruce and I have already gone through a draft of the write-up that everybody will be signing, cast and crew and everything as it relates to COVID-19, the protocols and procedures that we as producers have to put in place for the film. And that's, everything from masks to sanitizer to, physical distancing to, washing hands stations and, everybody, making sure that everybody feels comfortable and safe, but not sacrificing the natural flow of making a movie. Now, it's going to be different. Making this movie is going to be a real experience, not just because it's the first time that I am stepping into this role and making something at this level, a professional short film, but the whole logistics of doing it during a pandemic, of sort of trying to work around and make sure everybody is safe. So that is a cost in and of itself as well. So that's why, the budget is where it is. Again, it's not an arbitrary number that we just came to. We've broken everything down. We have a production budget that we've broken down, and this is what we need to complete the vision. Now, a lot of people have said, well, what if you don't raise it? What if you only raise 34,000? Well, I can tell you right now, 34,000 US right now, sorry, Canadian, US would be better. 34,000 Canadian right now it's enough to make a movie. It's not quite enough to make what we need. We're getting close. Some people have said, what would you prefer? And I said, we're at 34,290, whatever it is, Canadian right now. If we, by the end of the campaign, if we can be sitting close to 50, that's a good spot. That's a good spot. If we can be another 10 to 12,000 more than we are now on the campaign, that's a very good spot, because then we can sort of even things out with, a couple of streams, the It's Me Billy-a-thons. I can even take, a McRae Live where everything raised goes to that. I know Tony and I are thinking about doing something similar to that towards the end of August as well. And that was he's been great, cute. I mean, it's just, he's the brother from another mother. I mean, he's been so supportive and loving and caring with this, because he wants to see it happen too, right? And so he's been great. So he offered, hey, why don't we do this towards it? So there's that's coming as well. So a lot of these streams might be able to offset, what we don't raise for the campaign. But if we can get close, like if we can get, like I said, another 10, 12, like we're sitting at maybe 47,000 Canadian by the end of the campaign, we're in a pretty good spot. And that means we might be able to factor in the others and maybe push us over the hump. But doing It's Me Billy right now at 34,000 would be very tricky. What we would end up doing if we just don't raise any more, and we just don't do it, what we would end up doing, as I've said many times, is we would assess where we are, look at the budget, look what we're able to afford, and we don't want to sacrifice anything. We don't want to sacrifice quality. We don't want to sacrifice impact. So what we may end up doing is we may just say, well, why don't we take these 5 pages from the script and shoot this, and then use that as, bait essentially, and say, hey, look at this. And people will be like, wow, holy shit, you want more of that? And then maybe we launch another campaign to raise the rest to make the rest of the movie. I mean, filmmakers, independent filmmakers who are utilizing crowdfunding do that kind of thing all the time. Ideally, no filmmaker wants to do that, because we want to be able to raise everything we need up front, so we can go ahead and make the vision that we want to make for us and for you guys. And you guys are helping to make this a reality. I mean, that's the really cool thing about crowdfunding, is that, everybody who donates to the campaign, unless of course it's a donation, not associated with a perk, but everybody who buys a perk, whatever perk it is, you will get your name in the end credits. Everybody, every single person who buys a perk, whether it's the $5 perk that, is the special thanks, or one of the big perks, you all get your name in the end credits. I mean, you're all making this a reality. You're all making it a reality. I mean, that's why usually the special thanks perks are so low, in terms of cost, because, it's something that is low, that's affordable for most people, that can get your name there, right? And that's incredible. I mean, that's something that is so, like, without you guys, I mean, we're still blown away that we even have made or raised as much as we have already. I'm stunned. You guys are amazing. And I sincerely mean that. I'm not kissing your ass. I sincerely mean that. I didn't know I knew we'd raise something, but 57% of the production budget in 2.5 weeks? The hell? Now, we only have about another 5 weeks left to go, so we need to kind of, pick it up a little bit, but it's amazing. Like, you guys are amazing, sincerely. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I know Bruce does as well. And I know the actors do too, because obviously the actors want this to be successful too, so they can make the movie, right? And I know they're very thankful. So anyway, yeah, so campaign is still live. Link in the description, folks. Anything you can do to help, every little bit helps. And remember, I've said this many times, it's not always about people dropping bombs. I know, listen, I mean, we sold out on the associate producer package. There were 7 people that dropped bombs. I mean, you guys are amazing. But that's not really, at the end of the day, how campaigns get funded. Campaigns get funded by a lot of people buying a small perk because it adds up. You know, I got 122 people watching right now. If 122 people all bought the lowest perk, I'm not suggesting you do that. I mean, everybody's got to do what's right for them and their financial situation, right? Everybody's got to do what's best for them. And some people are like, Dave, I love you, man, but I really don't give a fuck about this movie. I mean, that's true too. People are not Black Christmas fans. They don't give a shit about the movie. I love you, but I don't care. I wish you well. You know, I really don't want to spend $5 on a special thanks because I don't fucking care. There are those people too. And it would be naive to think that they aren't there. But hypothetically, I'm just saying, if 128 people all went and bought the $5 perk, 128 times 5, we'd be, you know, like, you see how that adds up, right? So it's really all about that. It's about a lot of people buying the smaller perks than it is hoping some deep-pocketed person comes in and just drops a bomb. You know what I mean? That's not like, it's happened, but it's not sustainable. You know what I mean? So it's really more about the small stuff that adds up. And that's what's really all about. So now, like I said, before we move over to your questions, let me also say that like our table read again was yesterday. Let me see if I can bring up, I thought I had the photo here. Let me see if I can bring up this photo. Thought I had it ready, but I don't think I did. Last night, we had our second table read with our lovely ladies. And let me just get the image. Dun, 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 dun. It is... Oh, there's so many images here I'd love to show you, but I can't. This one. There we are. There they are, the lovely ladies. So this is from our table read last night. There we go. Yeah, this is from our table read last night. Of course, Bruce in the top left, myself, Carol Coltman in the top right, who's playing the neighbor. And then, of course, we have Shelby Handley, who's playing Emma on the bottom left, Victoria Miro in the center, playing Sam, the granddaughter of Jess Bradford from the original Black Christmas, and Malika Henney on the bottom right, who's playing Justine. And, of course, the three ladies on the bottom are best friends, the best of friends. And... yeah, this was during a moment, I guess, in the top middle there, I don't know what I was doing. I guess I was saying something that made everybody laugh, but I don't know what I was saying. I tend to do that to sort of break tension in a serious moment. So that's kind of fun. And then there's another one here I'll show you. Let me see here. There's another one. Let me just show you this one. This is right in the middle of our script read. And this is so great because this is so great. This is right in the middle of the script read. Check that out. What's going on? Everybody's so intense. Everybody's so intense and like, what is going on? And Victoria, of course, is responding to something that is in the script. What is in the script? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I can't show you too much. I can't show you too much. The stream is dead again, yo. The stream is dead again. Am I on? No, I'm still here. The stream... Do you mean the chat room? It says I'm live. It says everything's okay. When you say the stream is dead, I'm back. Oh, you're still here. Maybe it was dead for you, but it didn't click out on me. Everything seems to be okay. I haven't lost any frames. Everything seems to be all right. Nothing happened. Yeah, I didn't think anything happened either. You froze, homie. Homie. Maybe I froze for you, maybe. But everybody else, just keep refreshing if that happens again. But yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. So this here obviously is a moment in the script. I don't know. I guess I don't know if this is because Bruce and I take turns reading the action part of the script. I usually start and read the first, 11, 12 pages and Bruce reads the rest. I don't know where we are here in the script, although I have an idea. So I think Bruce was reading the action part here and everybody else was just listening intently, which is interesting. And of course, Victoria there is performing and reading her part in the script, and that's all you're going to get. Now, the great thing about table reads is that nobody's going full tilt. Like nobody's like, although I know it does look like, Victoria is kind of, everybody is just still, again, it's our second table read. It was a new draft of the script because there were some changes that were made. And we also made some more changes since last night as well. There were some suggestions, great character suggestions from Caro and Malika and everybody. I mean, everybody was just offering some really great suggestions because everybody is helping to improve the script, right? And about their characters and things like that. And so we've made a few adjustments even last night. I was up late last night till about 2:30 in the morning making some adjustments to the script, the notes that we took during our table read, which is what table reads are for. They're not just, to feel all, cool that, these people are reading your script. It's a wonderful opportunity to see if there's a flow to your script. Does that line work? Does that action work? Does it make sense? There were a few things that Caro even pointed out that was like, I love this, but and I'm like, you know what? That's a good point. That's actually a really good point. Because sometimes it's good. It's great feedback, from the actors as well, and that's awesome. And so table reads are very valuable for that. And so we encourage that. So the next script we send to them will be adjusted again, although not as much as the last one, because now the adjustments are becoming very far and few between as things get tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, right? So the table read was just great. Like these ladies are the chemistry. It's so funny because we're doing this virtually, and I don't know if they're watching. They're probably not. But what's so cool is watching them, and they even brought it up on their own as well, watching our three leads read the lines back to each other. I mean, obviously you're online, you're on Zoom. There's a disconnect that's there because you're doing it virtually. That would be there more so in person. But there's a chemistry between them and their performances. Because remember I said that the main reason we hired these three is because we believed their performances. We believed that they were the ones that were thinking these words. And it's showing. And it's the chemistry as they kibitz back and forth, and the little nuances and decisions that, like there was a line, I won't tell you what it is, but there was a line that Shelby, who plays Emma, it's not directed in the script to say it this way, but she just instinctually said it that way. And I remember thinking, I love that, because she sees it, she feels it, and that's great stuff. And there's a real chemistry there. And of course, as the actors pointed out as well, they're so excited to get on set and to be in the environment, and to play off each other's chemistry in person. So those little subtleties and idiosyncrasies and nuances that are not necessarily there during a formal table read will flourish when you're on set. And we're really excited. Like, it's just, these ladies are so talented, and I'm so excited to work with them, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be so much fun. So, Indiegogo link in the description, folks. We're very excited of where we are. We're very excited about everything so far in terms of what we've raised. You guys are amazing, but we do need to keep it going. And like I said, every little bit helps. Just get into your mind that it's not about, I don't have, it's about the small stuff, and a lot of that, and donations as well. If you can, and if you feel you can, that is greatly appreciated. And there might be a few little surprises this weekend as well, so make sure to look out for that. So let's move over to your questions and see what you guys are talking about. There's some super chat questions I know came in. Let's see what they are. Cordell sends in a $4.99 super chat. Says, I think Mother Mayhem has brought this up, but have you thought of having fans make art posters for the movie and selling the one shirt or hoodie? Well, yes, Mother Mayhem is going to be doing something like that for us, but the reason why we don't want to do it, we don't want to open that up to everybody, is because not everything will be able to be used. And we feel that, it's just not something that is, it's just not something that there's a lot of things that we would have to turn down in that regard, because obviously it's marketing for the film, and it has to align with the integrity of the product. And, if something doesn't align with what we feel we're comfortable with or what we want to put out there, it's not personal, it's business. We would have to say no. And then the person might, might feel kind of bad. It's just, we want to avoid that as best as possible. Mother Mayhem is somebody that does this on a regular basis. And that's not to say that there aren't other fans that don't do it either. But it's not something that we want to open up right now for those reasons. Maybe we'll open it up a bit. We'll start small. We'll start and see how the Mother Mayhem thing goes, and see if there's a demand for that, or a demand for more. And we'll see what happens. But right now we're just kind of beginning slow and seeing sort of what the demand is like for that. So it's not personal, of course. We just want to make sure that we are releasing, that we are endorsing art that we feel comfortable with. And I don't mean comfortable in the sense of that we think it would be uncomfortable because it's, racist or vulgar. I'm not talking about that. We're talking about comfortable in terms of the integrity of the image and the vision. And that's important. I mean, we can't stop fans from making their own art and making their own It's Me, Billy, whatever they want to make. But if it becomes part of the campaign and goes up onto the campaign for people to purchase and spend money on, then that means we're officially endorsing it. And that's something that we want to make sure that we have the control over that, because we're not necessarily going to like everything that comes through or feel comfortable with being this part of the campaign. Not because the art sucks or anything like that. It just might be because it's not really part of the vision. It's cool, but it's not really what we want to put out there. So we have to keep that in mind as well. So, but we'll see. We'll see as the weeks roll on here. See how it goes. Intel Wild sends in a super chat and says, Dave, I can't wait for the day we raise the Indiegogo budget and we turn to you through text message. And so, well, I'm not having everybody text me and say, we got the budget. Now make us a great Black Christmas film. Well, hey, that would be, if we can get close to 50,000 Canadian, okay, which would be what? Maybe 38,000, something like that, US or something, close to 40,000 US. Could be very possible. Billy Joyner, a new patron of mine, says, good morning, Dave. Hope you're having a great day so far. Not too bad. I just became a McRae patron. Pretty excited. Yes, I saw that. And your name should be on the Patreon card at the end of this show. It should be. I think I uploaded the right one. If not, it'll definitely be there tomorrow, buddy. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Intel Wild sends in another super chat. Thank you, buddy. Says, hey, Dave, if I get a McRae mini poster, can you sign it going hard into the paint instead of mood and atmosphere? Maybe, possibly. Yes, maybe I will do that. Send me a message. Toxic City 225 just sends in a super chat. Thank you, buddy. Gary Rangel sends in a $2 super chat. Thank you, buddy. Says Black Christmas 1974, hell of a masterpiece. You saw it. Did you like it? I guess you did. Well, I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you thought it was great, because, you never know with those kinds of things, right? Because it's one of those films that is a bit of an acquired taste because of its era. It's, it's slow burn, it's dated now, but all those great things about it, it's good. And you can see how it inspired many of the tropes we see in Halloween, and for Halloween fans who think that John Carpenter wasn't at the very least subconsciously inspired by Black Christmas, you're fooling yourself. You gotta do your research on Black Christmas. Intel Wild, another super chat says, I know it's early, but got to go into work right now. For all the sexy MFers in the chat. Sorry, Frank, I had to. No problem, Intel. Really appreciate it, buddy. Have a great day at work, man, and stay safe out there. David Black says, Dave, I never ever saw Black Christmas, but I believe in you to make a good fan film. Just bought a perk there. Amazing, David. You are amazing. See, that's what I'm talking about, man. It's just the support. And, you know, it's funny, David, you're not the first person that has reached out to me and said something similar. There have been a few people that have reached out to me and been like, you know, there's even been a few people that have reached out to me and said, I actually don't like the 1974 Black Christmas, but I like you. I believe in you. And I really want to see what you can do with this. So I bought a perk or I donated some money. I don't even know how, like, I don't, it's not that I don't take compliments well, but I always feel a little awkward. And that is so nice, you know, and so meaningful, because at the end of the day, that's really what it's about, you know, is because if you don't believe in me, if you don't believe in Bruce, if you don't believe in what we're trying to put together here, then, you know, then you're not likely to support us, you know, whether you want a perk or not. So that really means a lot. And it means a lot. David, thank you for saying that. It does. It means a lot. Diehard Drummer 84 says, Dave, if I don't want kids, but a woman I like definitely wants them, is it worth it to pursue dating a relationship? Thanks, Dr. Dave. No, it's not. No, I mean, unless there is a distinct understanding that this is temporary. And very rarely do people enter into a temporary dating scenario unless it's a fuck friend or, you know, a bed buddy, right? I mean, and then usually in that kind of a scenario, not all the time, but more often than not, just because of the way men and women are wired. And obviously I would assume that you're having a, you know, sex with this person who's a fuck friend, because you're at the very least attracted to them physically, you know, I mean, that's usually what's going on there. Right. So, and if you, usually people have, what ends up happening is that people don't just sleep with the individual. You know, in the world of having just a sexual relationship, usually you hang out with them, you stay afterwards, you go out for dinner, you're dating them, you know, or you at least do all the tropes of dating. And that unfortunately builds feelings. And so that usually doesn't work either. But no, listen, if it sucks because we are often, oh, but she's so hot, or, but he's so hot, you know, and sometimes it can be hard. But the fact of the matter is that if you know you do not want children, you don't want children, and she definitely does, not this second, but she definitely wants children, dude, you have no one to blame but yourselves. You have no one to blame but yourself, and she has no one to blame but herself for getting involved, because it may be woohoo for the first 6 months, but then eventually it's going to be an issue. So no, the best thing you can do is to move on, find somebody who's, and there, listen, I know it's an overused cliche, but it's true. There's a lot of fish in the sea. There's a lot of people that are nice and a lot of people that are hot and a lot of people that you can be attracted to who have great personalities who maybe don't want children, you know? And then that's how not how I ended up, but that's one of the reasons myself and my girlfriend ended up together, was because we both didn't want children and we were sure of it. We were sure of it. You know, I'm 41 years old. I mean, listen, men can have children very late in life as opposed to women. But I have no desire to have children. I never have. And it would have been problematic. And I can tell you from experience, it has been problematic. I have, being young and stupid and, you know, but she's so hot. I mean, we've always been, you know, we've all been there, right? I've entered into relationships where I know I don't want kids and I know she does. And does it work out? No, it doesn't work out. It always ends up in some sort of catastrophe. You know, it always ends up like that. So the best thing you can do, as difficult as it is not to date them. So there you go. There you go. I'm just telling you, but if you do, just know that it's likely to change. Just saying. Super chat from Oliver Mercer says, hey, Dave, have you reached out to, I always get, I know who you're talking about. Is it Kira Duelli? Yeah. Duella. I know who you're talking about. I always pronounce his name incorrectly. Like, I do know how to say it, but I always pronounce it. Yeah, Kier. I know who you're talking about. No, because he's dead. The character of Peter is dead. So it would, and like, unless maybe for an endorsement, maybe, might think about doing that. No, I have not reached out to him. Because the character Peter is not alive anymore. MJS Lauren says, I always said I didn't want kids too. And do you have children? Oh, that's okay. Hey, listen, there are a lot of people that say they never want kids, but end up having kids. But I'm 41 years old, and I've been saying I don't want kids since I was, like 13. So it's not likely to change anytime soon. It won't change. I mean, I have no desire. I don't have anything against children. I just don't have no desire to have children. I never have. Anthony Stanfield says, it was him. Laugh my ass off. It was him. Anthony, what are you referring to? It was him? Can't remember. I don't know what you're referring to. Fill me out. Fill me in, I mean. Johnny T says, Dave, if it's your dream to make this film, I wouldn't say it's a dream. It's not a dream. I'm just really passionate to do it. If you're close, will you and or Bruce contribute any of your own money to make it happen? Or is commingling not allowed when crowdfunding? No, commingling, I can donate. Yeah, sure. I can donate, whatever I want to it. Sure. It would depend how much. I mean, if we stopped now and we needed to donate the rest, which is another, $30,000. I mean, that's $15,000 a piece between myself and Bruce. That's something that we would have to talk about. Not likely. I mean, the great thing about crowdfunding is that you get, fans on board, and fans contribute to the cause, to helping make something a reality. I mean, right now, no fan is contributing to making Halloween Kills a reality. I mean, you can contribute at the box office, and you might be able to help keep the series going, but in the process of actually making the movie, I mean, in some roundabout way, I guess you are, because of the box office receipts and things like that. But when a studio decides to make a movie, depending on how big the movie is, it's borrowed money. Warner Brothers doesn't go into the basement where there's this big vault, and they open up the vault and there's, trillions of dollars in there. And they're like, okay, we need 200 mil for this. It doesn't happen. It's borrowed money. And there's interest on top of that they have to pay back as well. So, and they're not crowdfunding, their budgets. They're borrowing from banks. So it's a really cool, not that crowdfunding doesn't have its, problems. It does. But it's a really cool idea for fans on a real, ground roots level, like a very ground floor level, I should say. It's a really cool thing for fans on a ground floor level to get involved and watch it grow and get the updates and see the campaign grow into an area that, and see it come to life. It's like you're there from inception, and that's really cool for a lot of fans. And to have a more personal connection with the filmmakers, not personal in the sense that we're all going out for coffee, but I mean, like I'm doing this show, I have this channel, I'm giving you updates on the regular. For those of you that have contributed already, you will get updates when I post an update to the campaign. It's just a cool thing to be a part of. I've been a part of a couple, and it's really cool to be on that ground floor, watching it grow and birth and become. You don't get that, with a Hollywood studio produced film, because obviously they're not asking you to help. They're going to the banks and borrowing the money. So I just think that's a really cool thing. So, yeah, just cool stuff, in my opinion. Let me see here. 12:26. We'll go a little bit longer here. I started a little bit late. Maybe another 10 minutes. We'll go another 10 minutes. Josh McGrath says, Dave, you should make a McRae live on the ways and works of the movie making industry. Well, I mean, that would be a lot. It would be again, I mean, there's a, yeah, I guess what you're saying is a bit different than the filmmaking 101. I was going to say there's a perk for that. Yeah, I would have to, because I tend to ramble and I tend to go off and because I'm so passionate about things, and that's something I'd want to sort of lock down in bullet point form at the very least, keep myself on track and really sort of hone in to that. And but pick something that a general audience would find interesting. Like, for example, I mean, maybe talking more about how budgets work and things like that. Like, I know that there are probably some people that were surprised to learn that the studios borrow money, for these tentpole films. They're not, and there are banks and interest rates they have to pay back, which is why films there's a certain schedule, there's a certain release date, there's a certain reason why they release at certain times, and, to make money, and they got to pay that interest back, and they got, I mean, it's a whole, I mean, that's interesting, but not everybody finds that interesting. But I find that interesting because that's the business side of Hollywood. And if you've heard me preach this 1,000 times, if you can 101 yourself into understanding the business side of Hollywood a lot more, then you will be able to predict things better. It's not that you have a crystal ball per se, but you'll be able to, if you understand the business side of Hollywood, you'll be able to understand why certain decisions are made and what likely decisions are coming. That's why I preach that a lot. Let me see here. Super chat. Anthony Stanfield says it was him, and then let him bird. Oh, it was him. No, it wasn't. Anthony, I don't know what you're hearing, but she's not saying him. I can guarantee you with absolute certainty, she is saying it. Wink, trust me. She's saying it. Yes, she's saying it. Listen carefully again. You don't have to take my word for it, but I wouldn't bet me. Let's just say there's things I know that you yet to know, and I wouldn't bet me. Okay? Let me just say that. Mother Mayhem sends in a super chat and says, would love if you vlogged making It's Me Billy like Shane Dawson did with making his palette so everyone could see all the work and hiccups that arise. Well, we are definitely making there will definitely be behind the scenes of the making of It's Me Billy, for sure. We have recorded some of the table reads. We are going to be recording. I mean, obviously there will be behind the scenes on set. There'll be a lot of that, and all that will be on the Blu-ray when that comes out as well. So there's definitely, I don't know, I haven't seen that. I'm not familiar with what you're talking about, so I don't know if it will be identical to what he's done. But will there be behind the scenes stuff and juicy, things that you can see the process and things like it? Definitely there will. Whether it'll satisfy everybody, I have no idea. Because sometimes, I mean, it's not going to be like the Star Wars prequels, George Lucas shit, if you know what, like, that was amazing. It's not going to be like that intense, but certainly we will definitely have stuff that we definitely have. We'll definitely have stuff for you. Lindsay. Okay, let me see here. Let me see. Hang on a sec. I just want to make sure we're still live, but for some reason there was a hiccup, and I want to make sure. Okay. Yeah, no, we're still live. I was just going over to YouTube to make sure we were still live. We are still live. Okay, good. Mother Mayhem says, I'm never satisfied, Dave. You'll have to elaborate and exaggerate situations. I want drama. All right, here it is. Well, you know what? Bruce and I were fucking, we could never agree on this one scene. I'm telling you, Bruce, we couldn't agree on it. I punched him in the face. He tackled me to the ground. He smothered all this snow in my face. And then I got up and I said, oh yeah, you want to go? You want to go, motherfucker? You want to go? And then our DP, Greg, he came over and he tackled us to the ground. And everybody was like tackling us and we were all on the ground. And then baseball bats came out and we're beating the crap out of each other. It was incredible. It was insane. Then you'll get Bruce's version, which I'm telling you is fake. It's fake. Tom Ferreira says, who do you consider more evil? Michael, Freddie, Chucky, or Billy? More evil? Well, what is our measuring stick? What do we mean by more evil? Like we can't really quantify evil per se. There are things that we consider evil. So do you mean like who kill, like what kills are more like more gratuitous, which could be perceived as more like just having no care in the world? You know, like I just want to know what the benchmark is for evil. And I'll answer it. I'll give you the best of my abilities anyway. Oh, wait, so what do we got here? We got another few minutes here. Crystal Lake Counselor 1977 says, Dave, my bro-in-law does voice work and performs at his local theater. Very cool. He doesn't call himself an actor. He says he just talks and sings. Is he selling himself short? Why do you call yourself an actor? Well, I don't know your brother-in-law, and I don't know what level of voice work he does. I mean, there's certainly levels, whether he does it at the professional level or not. I mean, when you are a professional voice actor, you are an actor, and that is because you are very rarely playing somebody who is yourself. I'm not Dave McRae, doing the movie trailer for It, or doing doing a spot for Coke or for AT&T. I'm not Dave McRae. I am performing. I'm either the announcer or maybe I'm the dad on the Coke ad, right? Maybe I'm playing the dad and I have a daughter, right? Or maybe it's an ad for Verizon, and it's a radio ad, let's say, right? And you hear me, and it's me and my daughter talking about how our shitty service is so garbage and that we need something. I mean, I'm not Dave. I'm playing this character named Bob, who's a dad to this girl. When it comes to animation, I mean, if you don't need any more, if you need more convincing, just look to animation. I mean, I can tell you that cartoon voice actors, and having done animation myself, you are acting. You are playing a character. You're playing a role. You are playing you're playing a frog, you're playing a bear, you're playing, listen, a Canadian voice actor from Toronto, right around where I am, his name is Eric Bauza. And I keep saying this, I got to reach out to him because I'd love to get him on the show. I've talked to him, but not in a long time. He's the new voice of Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. He's the voice of Bugs Bunny and Daffy that you hear on the new, Looney Tunes cartoons on HBO Max. Is that not acting? Is he not acting? Is the last time I checked, Eric Bauza was not a rabbit or a duck. I mean, it absolutely is voice acting, but there's different parts that you're playing. Sometimes you're just the announcer. Sometimes you are the dad on a Coke ad. Sometimes you're a duck or a pig or a bunny on a Looney Tunes show, right? So it absolutely is voice acting. But I would have to, I mean, he does voice work, but that doesn't tell me the level for which he's working at. So maybe in his world, or for what he's been able to achieve thus far, he doesn't feel like he's acting. He doesn't feel like he's doing any sort of acting, and that's entirely possible. But it absolutely is. It absolutely is 100%. Because all it takes is for you to step into my shoes, get behind this mic, well, not this microphone because I don't use this for voice acting, but to go into my booth and get behind that microphone and audition for the role of a frog on an animated television series and tell me it's not acting. It definitely is. Let me see. The Boogeyman is coming. Sends in a super chat. Thank you, buddy. Says, any plans on doing a shirt with the retro Blu-ray design on it? I definitely buy that. That would look great. No immediate plans, but Bruce and I are talking about little things we can introduce in the month of August. And there are things like that we're thinking about, but I can't promise anything. But we're thinking about stuff. CM says, Dave, I've noticed on the campaign it says flexible amount in American dollars, and sometimes it goes up and down several $100s. Is that due to the exchange rate between Canada and the US? More than likely, yes. And flexible means that there's two things you can do on an Indiegogo campaign. You can launch your campaign on a fixed amount, or you can launch your campaign on a flexible amount. If you launch your campaign on a fixed amount, it's all or nothing. So that means that you need to raise what you need to raise, or it gets refunded to everybody. Usually people don't do that. Usually people say, well, you know, we're certain we're going to raise a fair amount. We may not hit our target, but we're going to come close, hopefully. And we'll take whatever we've raised and deliver on that. So that's why you see flexible as opposed to fixed, because every little bit helps, right? And then we can offset it from other sources to sort of raise the rest, hopefully, right? But if you see it go up by a few hundred, well, it also could be because somebody has purchased a perk as well. But if you see it go down, that could be because of the dollar. It could be because of the dollar, yeah, the Canadian dollar, because we are... it is set in Canadian dollars, so that's entirely possible as well. All right, let me see here. Let me scroll back. I don't think I missed any super chats. Oh, Tom Ferreira. Yeah, Tom, did you follow up with what you meant, like what sort of the benchmark is? Like, I mean, who's more evil? I mean, they're all evil. You know what I mean? Like, it just depends on what your definition of evil is. Right? They're all evil. You know, I don't know if one is more evil than the other. You know, they're all evil. I mean, I know that Michael has the, you know, the label that he's pure evil and he's the boogeyman. He's the, you know, the personification of evil. And I get all that. And naturally, instinctually, I think fans are likely to just say, Michael, because the word evil is so associated with him and his character. But if you're looking at it objectively, which is hard to do because you can't really quantify evil per se. If you're looking at it objectively, who is more evil? I have no idea really at the end of the day. I mean, they're all pretty fucking evil. You know, they all do pretty evil things. So, Valentino Tarhan, to me, Michael is the most from the original carnation. Jason and Freddy have motives in the original. Well, yeah, again, but just because you have a motive doesn't necessarily mean you're not evil, but I know what you mean. I get what you're saying. All right, 2 more minutes. The Movie Fanatic says, Dave, do you have a favorite Christmas movie? Yes, I do, actually. It's One Magic Christmas. From the mid-'80s. I think that would be one of my favorite Christmas movies for sure. Home Alone, you know, it's a classic, right? I like Ernest Saves Christmas. That's kind of a funky, funny Christmas movie. I know there's the classics like It's a Wonderful Life and things like that, but I don't hate that movie. I mean, you know, it's a nice movie, but I didn't really watch it a lot as a kid. So I tend to lean towards my nostalgia, which is, you know, One Magic Christmas, Home Alone, Ernest Saves Christmas. Yeah, those kind of things. Oliver Mercer sends in a super chat and says, this is confusing me now because I thought Peter was Billy. I know it's left in that direction in Black Christmas. Who was Billy? I hope you can help me, Dave. No, Peter is not Billy, my friend. No. Watch Black Christmas again, okay? It is set up to misdirect you into thinking that Peter is Billy, for Jess to think that her boyfriend is Billy. That is very clear in the original film. But there's something that that the narrative does for the audience that doesn't do for the characters and Jess. So the police officers at the end of the movie think it's Peter. Jess thinks it's Peter, but you know better. You know it's not, because at the end of the movie, Jess is lying in her bed and the camera backs up and pans down the hall and looks up at the attic, and you can hear him. You can hear Billy. He's still in the attic, and they still haven't found Claire or Mrs. Mack. They still haven't found those two dead bodies. And Billy is still in the attic. And that's why at the end, the final shot is of the house with the cop on the front porch. And, it's coming back from the attic. It's like, oh my God. And then you just hear the phone ringing. The phone's ringing because Billy's calling again. It's like, what happened? What happened to Jess? Did Billy get Jess? Did Billy get the cop? What happened? What's going on? No, Peter wasn't the killer. Jess, it was set up for Jess to think he was the killer, which is why she was so like, oh my God, with him at the end of the movie, and why she killed him in self-defense. Jess killed Peter in self-defense because Jess thought Peter was the one that was the killer. And that really solidified that for Jess when Jess was having a conversation with Peter about her pregnancy. Jess wanted to have an abortion. Peter didn't want her to. Peter didn't want her to have it. And Peter mentioned something about a wart or something like that, right? Well, it's just like getting a wart removed or whatever the case is, right? Well, that was a private conversation just between Peter and Jess because nobody else was there. But Billy is in the house. So Billy overheard that conversation. So later in the movie, when Billy calls the house and Jess picks up, he starts his ranting and raving like he does, and he starts talking about a wart, right? A conversation that, as far as Jess knows, nobody else heard. Nobody else heard. So Jess, in that moment, thinks to herself, oh my God, it's fucking Peter. This is Peter. Holy shit, when really it's not. Because at that moment, she still didn't know that there was somebody else in the house. So no, it's not Peter, Oliver. It's not. No, Peter is not Billy, my friend. All right. Tom Ferreira says, which of the four killers do you think is the most despicable? I.e., who you dislike more, like in terms of morally? Michael kills randomly while Freddy and Chucky kill for fun. Who do I think killer is the most despicable? I don't know. We'll say Freddy. Freddy is the most despicable because he gets you in your dreams when you are the most defenseless. It's smart. It's brilliant. I mean, that's when you want to kill somebody, is when they're asleep. But I would say that if you want to play that game, I would say that's probably the most despicable, I'd say. All right, folks, that's going to do it for me for episode 82 of McRae Live. I want to thank my moderators, Darren Sands, Frank Riker, Tabitha Short, Jason Nike. You guys are amazing. Thanks to all the super chats that came in. Thanks to the non-super chat questions, of course. And thank you again for humoring me through this episode of just reiterating and talking about the campaign and talking about It's Me, Billy, and just sort of, promoting it and plugging it, because obviously we need to do that here on this channel. And I really appreciate anything you guys can give and donate and perks and all that, anything. Seriously, I'm not just saying this. We can measure this. This is not just me kissing your ass. You guys are helping to make this a reality. Without you, this would not be a reality. So, it's amazing what you guys have done so far. The link to the Indiegogo campaign is in the description. Please check it out if you haven't already. If you have any questions whatsoever about the campaign, about the perks, feel free to send me a message via the campaign, and I will respond to you as soon as I can. You guys are amazing. I will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for episode 83 of McRae Live. So that is going to do it for me. In the meantime and in between time, I will talk to you guys soon. Alrighty. Cheers.